Indian education system is set for a major transformation after 34 years. The Indian government approved the new National Education Policy 2020 with the aim of making India a global knowledge superpower. This new policy is set to bring landmark reforms in both school and college education to prepare the Indian students for a 21st century world where critical thinking and practical knowledge will determine the future of the nations. This new education policy is going to replace the 34-year National Policy on Education 1986. This is the third education policy that is coming after 1968 during the regime of Srimati Indira Gandhi and 1986 during the tenure of Rajiv Gandhi. The new policy 2020 is going to be highly significant as for almost 34 years there were no changes made to the education policy. And this policy, after several consultations with the stakeholders and the general public, it has been prepared by a committee which was headed by the former Indian Space Research Organization Chief Dr. K. Kasturi Rangan. And finally, the Union Cabinet has approved this policy on 29th of July. Let us see what are the key takeaways from this new policy. The first change is the major shift from 10 plus 2 system to 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 system. What is it? In the 10 plus 2 system, children from between the age group 6 to 18 were included, that is from classes 1 to 12. Children in the age group 3 to 5 were not included earlier. Now the new system has been divided into 4 stages. That is the foundation stage, the preparatory stage, the middle stage and the secondary stage. The foundation stage includes the children in the age group 3 to 8, which are basically the pre-primary classes and grades 1 and 2. This move will bring the uncovered age group 3 to 6, which has been globally recognized as the crucial stage of brain development. The new policy will make education compulsory from 3 years through early childhood care and education component, through which NCERT is required to prepare an activity and play-based curriculum. Next is the preparatory stage, which is from classes 3 to 5. Here, textbooks and formal classroom education will be introduced. Stage 3 is the preparatory stage, which is for the age groups 11 to 14, that is basically for the classes 6, 7 and 8. Here there is a major change. Coding has been introduced. Along with coding, students are also expected to undertake vocational activities such as pottery, gardening, electrical work or plumbing work. Stage 4, which is the secondary stage, is the most important, which covers the classes from 9 to 12. Now in this stage, students have the flexibility to choose subjects of their choice. That means you can choose baking along with your favorite subject, chemistry, or probably you can learn fashion designing along with economics. Normally, post 10th, we are expected to choose one of the streams like arts or commerce or science, right? But right now, it has been made multidisciplinary in nature. That means you can choose, you have the flexibility to choose any of the courses which you are interested in. 10th and 12th board exams would continue as it is, but with a completely different format. Greater importance will be given to the analytical skills and also the practical knowledge. Lesser emphasis would be given on marks. And whereas for the other grades 3, 5 and 8 will be given exams. The next major reform is the multidisciplinary bachelor's program with multiple exit options. Now, if I wish to discontinue probably after a year or after 2 years, maybe because of personal reasons or any other reason, I can always come back and rejoin from where I have left. I need not start all over again. Let me tell you how it works. If I leave after first year, I get a certificate. If I leave after second year, I get a diploma. If I leave after third year, I get a bachelor's degree. And at this point, if I want to get into a job, I can go. Now, at this point, if I wanted to get into research, I can continue with the fourth year. Multidisciplinary education and flexibility of subjects has been introduced. That means an engineering student may also opt for music if interested. An academic credit bank has been introduced to digitally store the credits that you earn during your bachelor's program. To bring all of this into implementation, we are going to have the Higher Education Commission as the single regulatory authority, which is going to replace the existing regulatory authorities like UGC and AICTE. So now we are going to have only a single regulatory authority, which is the Higher Education Commission. 6% of GDP would be spent towards the implementation of all these reforms. Right now, the expenditure is around 2.7% of GDP for the financial year 17-18 according to the Economic Survey 17-18. Higher priority is being given towards spending on education. We all know the returns from education are always compounded. If you look at the investment in the past 5 years, the expenditure has never exceeded 3% of GDP. You know, in the 1968 education policy itself, this percentage of GDP, that is 6% of GDP, has to be kept aside towards spending on education, but it was never implemented. Right now, the government is moving in the right direction in the implementation of these reforms. If you happen to get some time, do Google about the Finland education system because they've got the best education system in the world. And you know how much they spend on education? They spend around 7% of GDP towards education. The government is aiming by 2030 to have at least one multidisciplinary higher education institution in every district. The main objective of these reforms is to give universal access to education at all levels. Top 100 foreign colleges would be given a chance to operate in India. All the institutions offering single streams would be phased out to become multidisciplinary by 2040. That means they're pursuing engineering. I can also opt for a subject in arts or humanities or commerce. Basically, I'll be having greater flexibility to choose options of my choice. The new policy is giving thrust to digitalization. Government has recognized the importance of digitalization. All the education material will be available as e-courses in regional languages. This will make sure that digitalization penetrates to rural areas as well. National Education Technology Forum will be created by the government to exchange ideas related to technology and its implementation. According to me, this new education policy is going to be a breakthrough in Indian education system, and I'm eagerly waiting how this is going to be implemented in a smooth manner. Do not forget to share this video with your friends and family members who wish to understand the new policy in detail, right? And if you happen to visit my channel for the first time, do not forget to hit the subscribe button.